All right. We are recording and it is Wednesday, February 20th. And welcome to the Inspire Beautiful Team call. And like I said, thank you guys for making this call a priority. I know it's earlier than normal, but when we have a guest speaker, we accommodate. So it's nice to see Nikki's face on here because usually she misses out on team calls because she's working in the evenings. So this is very exciting. So I'm going to we're going to split our call kind of half and half a little bit. I'm going to kind of go through some stuff, obviously our normal housekeeping. And then I want to talk with you guys a little bit about making this business simple. And I think it's probably going to align a lot with what Nikki has to share with you today. All right, so let's check out our Success Club board. So we've got Nikki paving the way at 16. I think she's at 18, but on my end, this is all I could see. I am at 10, and then our almost side, we've got Shay, Kelly, and Brittany all at 4, Amanda, Sarah, Shawnee, Andrea, and Lexi at 2. So what do we have? 8 days left in the month, so just over a week. So now is that final push. So our other big announcements is last week, Brittany was introduced as our newest Emerald coach. Insanely proud of her. And she just got engaged. So even more exciting. And I've been wanting to let it all soak in for her before I reach out. I'm like, girl, this is going to help you so much for your wedding because I feel like I just went through that. So this is awesome. And then tomorrow, Nikki is going to be a diamond qualifying coach. So yay, we are so excited, which then in turn makes us a 1-star qualifying team. And it's already lit up in our offices, but we're holding our breath until tomorrow because, things go live on Thursdays. But then, the 6-week part is the crucial part. Nikki's like, I don't even want to say anything for 6 weeks. I'm like, but we have to because people have to know about the qualification periods and that it is a lot of work for that qualification period. So we're about to put our heads down and grind. And I'm just so freaking proud of you and I'm excited. And we are going to get to hear more from her in a little bit. All right, some housekeeping things. Obviously, it's Team Cup month. I hope that your Team Cup team is, cheering each other on, that you're posting whenever somebody sends out a share cart and you're cheering each other on, whenever anything's going on, I really, really hope that you guys are encouraging each other, inspiring each other, coming up with some new ideas, sharing some scripts if things are working, sharing screenshots, anything like that, because the more our team right now is if you hit Success Club 5 personally, you get that first cutting board, but then after that it requires the entire team, so you should all be working together to win some prizes. The ultimate portion fix, we have been starting to hear a lot about this. There have been several trainings over the last 2 days, today and yesterday, all about this on the champions page. This needs to be a priority for you to learn about, I would say by Sunday. That's when I'm giving myself my deadline. I haven't caught up yet on the videos, but I am starting to look at the calendars and the release dates and personally thinking about how I'm going to structure my workout schedule to align with this, focusing on when I'm going to be purchasing, how I'm going to be marketing it. I've already started talking to women who, if you've had those girls and in your note section, they say, they're in a solid fitness routine. Those are the people who you follow up with, because this doesn't have to have a fitness component. This can just be their nutrition, which I absolutely love. So I already have some girls' names written down who have told me I'm set in my fitness routine. No, you're going to get hit with nutrition from me next. Can't get rid of me. So learn your things. I will be, cross sharing everything into our Inspire page, just because sometimes it's just easier to go to our team page and see everything, because things can get buried in the champions page pretty easy. March boot camps. I know that I talked to some of you about a month ago, when you were like, I'm not ready to run a February group yet, but I'm thinking about March. If that's still on your radar, it's crazy that we only have 8 days left in this month. So in my mind, I'm already thinking about I'm marketing right now my coaching sneak peek. And then this weekend, starting Sunday, I'm going to start hitting my March boot camp hard. So you guys need to start thinking about how you're going to approach it. What are some of the things that you might post on your social media? If you are running it on your own, if you're running it with a couple other coaches, do you need to set up a one-on-one with me? I don't care if you do. I'm not saying that you do, but if that's something that you want to do, make that a note. Take charge of your business so that you can set yourself up for success in March. And then the last piece is Summit. If you haven't gotten your Summit ticket yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do. I've already started researching restaurants in Indy so that we can get some reservations for our team, because I'm like, holy crap, I've got a team coming with me this year. So it's pretty exciting. And then leading up, you're going to start learning, if you're registered for Summit, about like how to earn the invitation for the Success Club party. It's very easy to do. How to register for your certain workouts in the mornings. I know that if you got the referral, you probably already got your email about doing Jericho's Morning Meltdown. So just have all of those things on your radar as we move into Summit, and then obviously more details will come. All right. So this is like coaching 101, you guys. And I don't mean this to be like an asshole, like at all. I feel like we can so easily get discouraged. We can so easily have a busy week in our personal life. We can so easily play the comparison game for what we see other people doing, and then we get off track. And it's life, and that's what happens. And that's why I really just wanted to talk about the simplicity of this business. Do not overcomplicate this for a second. These are the 4 vital behaviors. They are on the business activity tracker. I feel like they call it 2 different names, the Success Club System Business Activity Tracker. Like, that's so many things, but they're all on the top of there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on our team page. I've posted it. All 4 of these things are there laid out. And if you ever come to a point in your business where you feel like you've gotten off track, your mindset is like, where do I even start? You're playing the comparison game. Shut down social media. Pull out that business activity tracker and do these 4 things. But you guys, these are the 4 things for a reason. Like, Beachbody didn't just pull these out of nowhere. They actually sat with coaches. They revised the system. You need to be proof of the products. And when I say that, I mean nutrition, workout plans, like sharing your passion, sharing the shake, sharing the fruit punch Energize, sharing the regular Energize, sharing whatever it is that you love about this business. That is proof of the products, and that is always first. Because if you are so invested and in love with your own results, it's only going to be natural for you to pay it forward. So don't ever be like, if you start a workout program with all of us because like, oh my gosh, well, everybody's doing it, so I'm going to do it, but it's not your jam, don't feel like you have to be, stuck to, let's say, Transform 20, for example, when you don't like it. That's why we have this Netflix of workouts. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's going to translate in social media. So don't ever feel like you have to keep up with the team. Like, you are your own business owner. Like, own that and love your journey first. First and foremost, love your journey. Fill your cup every single day, because that's the only way that you can overflow into others. Connect, invite, and follow up. So this is where I've been talking with a lot of you guys that are in the like 0 and 2 Success Club point range. And you're just like, okay, I'm doing the things. You're sending these screenshots. You're like, I'm doing the things. Why is nothing happening? And one thing that I really want to make crystal clear, and I know that we've heard this in a lot of calls, is think about how you would want to be invited. Okay, so would you want somebody to warm up to you first and start those conversations? Would you rather just have somebody ask you right out of the gate, once you guys are engaging in each other's posts? Whatever that looks like for you. I'm like a half and half person, honestly. Sometimes I feel better about building that relationship, and sometimes I'm just like, screw it, and invite. And that's okay. And so whenever I get like a random invite out of the blue I've been getting hit up with like Zia Athletics, like no other lately. I don't feel icky and I don't feel like bad about it. And I respond and I say thank you, or, you know, whatever it may be, Arbonne, whatever. But then I just move on and I just stop responding. And so if somebody ever thinks of me that way, I can't feel bad about that because I don't feel icky when I get those kind of invites. So again, think about how you would feel. But here's the thing that I feel you can have the disconnect if you are working on building relationships with people. So what I'm seeing in a lot of conversations when I'm talking to a lot of you is that you're chatting, you might be chatting about the weather, you might be chatting about school, you might be chatting about your dogs, you might be chatting about that you guys have the same wedding anniversary, whatever it is that you're chatting about. And then all of a sudden you start sliding in here and there about what you have to offer. And then you're kind of back to talking about your dogs. And then you're kind of backsliding about talking about our boot camps. And all of a sudden your conversation is blended and messy. And when I read those and I go through the conversations, there's no clear transition from the conversation and getting to know someone to let me invite you to this amazing opportunity and let's talk about it. So because of that messiness, that's when the ghosting is happening. That's when the conversations are stopping because they're like, I don't even know what's happening right now. And that's how I would feel personally. So I just kind of want you to take a step back and say, oh my God, I have these amazing conversations going. From there, when is the appropriate time? And you'll be able to feel it. The conversation will start to feel like, ooh, should I keep going? This is going to feel forced. There. That is your note right there to do a hard invite. And I think I maybe even said this to Molly, and I said, just simply say, hey, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot to invite you. I'm opening up spots for my March boot camp. Go into it that way. Be like, I'm so sorry. I never offered. Is this something that you're interested in? These groups I run, I can explain them to you if you want. Casual, not creepy, not icky. Say, if not, no big deal. Give them an out. Okay. I'm not sure. So, but there has to be that invite, that hard invite, not woven into your conversation, because you're losing people. You're losing people. And I'm seeing that as a common theme throughout our team right now. And then the follow-up. You guys, we preach this, that the fortune's in the follow-up. So if you're not tracking, you're not going to have anybody to follow up with. Tracking's hard. It's hard. It really, really freaking is hard. I'm not a streak fan. I'm just not, but I do it because it's beneficial to my business. Do I do it perfectly and 100% of the time? Hell no. Hell no. Have people slip through the cracks? Absolutely. It's life, but I'm trying. And my business is better off because of it. And getting people results, you guys, you want, the second that you get that client, you want to make them have the best experience so that you have those screenshots to share on social media. You also want to do it because of that feeling that it gives you. This is our job. I want you to soak in. I have been moved to tears several times in this job because of my clients. Honest to goodness, when they send me the private messages, when I see their transformations in the boot camps, I scream. I'll either scream and blow John's ear off. I'm in tears. I screenshot. I even send them to my mom. And that feeling it's unreal. And I want you guys to feel that because this is our job. It's one thing to use it as a marketing tool and then put it on social media. That's great. And that draws people in 100%. But that feeling, that's it. That's the magic. So getting people results, you guys, it's just running bomb boot camps. It's just doing your job. It's just checking in with them and sending voice clips instead of typing things out. It's getting personal with them. Okay, it's sharing little things about you so you're not a robot. I was talking to a girl last night who I'm about to check out, and she's like, how about that step? And I'm like, listen, I really don't like to rip my girls off. I send them a link on Amazon. It's really expensive getting it through me. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Even little things like that, how you would talk to a girlfriend, that's how you should talk to your potential clients and your clients. And then the last thing is personal development. One thing that I really, really wanted to stress is a lot of times coaches attract coaches like themselves. And so I'm going to speak to the coach that Janine was. I nodded my head yes, that I was doing my personal development probably my first year of coaching, and I wasn't. I was not doing it daily. I was not immersing myself and actually listening to it and picking personal development that applies to my life right now. And I'm mad at myself that I didn't start. So I want you just to say, if you're not doing personal development, be honest with yourself. It's not a big deal. You guys, I just admitted to you that I did it for like the whole first year. I was lying to myself about it. And I want you to immerse yourself in it. And you don't have to do all the trendy books that everybody else is doing or the trendy podcasts that everybody else is doing. But I want you to pick something that you feel that you need in your life. Do you feel like you need more confidence? Find a personal development on confidence. Do you feel like you need a better money mindset? There's a Jen Sincero book all about your money mindset. Do you feel like you need a leadership book because you're starting to grow a teeny tiny team? Get a leadership book. Okay, whatever you need. I know right now I've been listening to Be Obsessed or Be Average. The first 4 chapters, I loved it. I think I'm in the 5th. I don't even know. It's such a long book. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it right now. So I took a break, and instead I'm listening to podcasts, and that's okay because I'm like this. I was so mindful that I was tuning it out. So getting in check with yourself, being honest with yourself, knowing all of these things and how they work together. And if you think that this business is going to be hard, it will be hard. That is your fixed mindset. That is your limiting belief. I talk to so many people that they're so frustrated and they're putting this wall up. I'm not getting people. I'm not getting people. I'm not getting people. And that is their truth because that is what they are speaking. Okay? Instead, I want you to change your script. And I want you to go back to these 4 things. And I want you to say, I'm connecting with women. I'm inviting women. I'm following up with women. And I'm rinsing and repeating those things. Okay? And Bethany, I don't think she's on this call right now, but she is like she does not have a fixed mindset. She has the most growth mindset. And I study this as a teacher and with fixed and growth mindset in the classroom. And I talked to her and she's like, I'm talking to a bunch of people. Hasn't happened yet, but you know what? I know it will. And she says that literally in a voice clip. And I just want to reach through the phone and hug her because that's the type of mindset that's going to get you farther in this business. This is not a get rich quick thing. We all know that. But the potential that this business has, if you let it, is unreal. But you've got to let it, and you've got to let your mind be open. Do the simple 4 activities, you guys. It's 4. Simple, 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 simple. With an open mind, and it will happen. Okay, so that is my half of this. I'm going to turn it over. Sorry, I got very soapboxy there. I apologize, but I'm going to turn it over to Nikki because Nikki, as I said at the beginning, she is about to go Diamond tomorrow, qualifying. So I'm so excited. And and Nikki, you might be speaking to this, you had a couple quieter months and then you came this month and you're seeing just this massive, massive success. And I remember when I texted you, because then Mackenzie just texted me the other day. She's like, dude, what's Nikki been doing? I'm like, literally talking to people. So I'm going to turn it over. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like even hopping on this team call, I'm like, well, I kind of know what to talk about, but honestly, I'm like, I'm not doing things perfectly. It's I'm not doing streak. I'm not doing this. I know that there's things that I'm letting slip through the cracks in some way. But I think that's my thing is I'm not focusing on the past. I'm focusing on what I can do, and I'm showing up and I'm trying. And I think that's just the thing that I've been reminding myself is keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up how I can. And so I'm just going to kind of just hop around a little bit, but I think to start, I think the mindset of Team Cup, I think I need to think that I'm in Team Cup every single month because like I don't, and again, I don't know what it is necessarily because it's like, yeah, it's like Team Cup, but it's not like really anything's different. It's like, oh, I'm just in one more group message where we're checking in with each other. But I think that that's been really sweet. And I think it's just more so like stepping up to my responsibility as a coach that I've signed up as and for since day one. Like doesn't matter if it's my third year or my first day as a coach. Like when I say yes, that is my responsibility. And I may not know that fully because we're going to keep growing into it more and more. But I think like in my mindset of Team Cup and honestly, and looking up to Janine and looking up to Mackenzie as these coaches that have built these teams and in this business, it's like, okay, like I'm in a group with them and I want to be able to say like, I hit the success club point. I hit the success club point. And it's always about the person and helping women. But I think it's also the more I really dig into this and the more I want this, it's like, okay, this is a business and this is my job. And so what can I do today to grow that? And what are my goals and how am I going to get there? And so, yeah, I think, and that was something that I had talked to Janine of like earlier, because I know that I've been a little bit like this in my business and I'll be the first to say it because it's out there for the public, but it's like, okay, I've been quieter and I've shown up and blah, 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 blah. But, I think the hardest thing that had been there for me was like, my life is just always kind of inconsistent in some way of like the seasons are just weird. Like sometimes I can commit to a program, sometimes I can't, blah, blah, blah. But that's literally just life. Like it's always going to be that. And so I remember telling Janine, I was like, I almost feel like a fraud because I'm training for a marathon. So I'm not even really doing a program. Like how can I lead or how can I share my journey as a Beachbody coach with Beachbody programs that I'm not even investing in right now? But I think that is exactly as like, be your own business owner. Like this is your journey and I'm living my journey. And so that was really kind of my mindset of like, okay, in Team Cup, it's like, this is the first month that I'm running a monthly group of my own. And I'm like doing it by myself. Like going to this month, I had asked a couple people, but they were doing their other one. So I was like, okay, well, I had already created a page for all the clients that I had. And so I'm like, I'm just going to turn that into a monthly group, which is awesome, by the way. So I definitely recommend doing that. And thankfully I'd already done that of like just plugging clients into this like main hub, kind of like the Fit Girl Gang. That's what I was going after. But then I just turned it into this and it's been great. And now I've had like the more active coaches I've gotten, I'm having them getting plugged in and luckily having them help me with the group. But I was going into like, well, I guess I'm just going to run this group and just do what I can. But I think that was really sweet because I think that that's kind of like what helped me frame my monthly group is like, okay, we're real women with crazy schedules getting holistically healthy. Like that was kind of like my tagline. And I think that has been a game changer for me because I'm being able to invite girls and saying like, yes, but that's exactly what I love about these programs is that you have these programs and they're structured if you want them. Like it has nutrition, all this stuff. It's very structured, but also it's like it fits into your lifestyle. So it's like right now I can't fully invest into a program because I have to train or else I'll die when I run that marathon. And so it's like that has to be my focus. And so, but this is how I can use these programs. And this is why it's so awesome because I have access to these for a whole year because I'm just so I'm like babbling, but I just think it's like not only with my business but with my fitness journey too. It's like that's why I fucking love this business and these programs is because it really is flexible to your lifestyle and your season. So it's like, hey, if you join this month, like, and you're really busy, it's not like your money is wasted because in 2 months when you have more of a free schedule, then you can really invest in a program and I'll be like right there with you. And so, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I think just kind of like, okay, where am I at in my life and how can I use that as an invite to people? So that's kind of like what I'd been saying is as I chat more with them and as I do send out an invite and then saying like, yeah, the great thing about these is that you get access to them for a whole year. So even if you can't fully invest in that right now, like I'll help you create a routine. And so in my monthly group, like I'm putting out my like basically like my program schedule with like my runs. And then I'm saying like, oh, and I'm implementing like, that's the best thing is that I can use 21 Day Fix, like 20-minute abs as like one of my cross training days and things like that. And yeah, so I think it was just really kind of like owning what's going on in my life and being able to be like, no, I can still be a coach in this and I can still be a Beachbody coach just with my own journey and knowing that it's going to be different in a month. And so I think that that was a huge thing for me. Yeah, let's see here. Scripts have been really big for me, but I feel like I haven't been super consistent with one. I think it really is just changing it up. Like I do have a mixture of like, I am way more about connecting with women and like having genuine conversation, but also in being in the Teen Cup mindset, I'm like, I just need to freaking send out invites. Like there's sometimes I'm like, okay, with these girls, I'm just going to like send out more like cold invites in some way, like just that's the first thing I'm saying to them. But for the girls that are consistently watching my stories and liking my posts and girls that I look at their profile, I'm like, man, I feel like we'd actually really connect. Then with them, I'm like, I want to start a more genuine conversation from the get-go. And I truly just think like the timing of it was really awesome. Like the first week, I was just being more bold in my invites and being more bold and being consistent and what can I do today? And so when I was sending out those invites, and luckily I was just connecting with girls that had been watching me and were interested in my virtual gym. And the more I was talking about, because it was like, this is the first month I've really been like, this is the virtual gym. And I've kind of reframed it in my mind too. And people are latching on to that. And so I think it's just knowing like, hey, what am I bringing to this monthly group that I'm running? What is it? How is it framed? And how can I speak into that to where like it might reach out to other women and for them to connect to that? Yeah. So I think just sending out, like having scripts and sending out certain ones and just honestly like, okay, what am I feeling today? Like, am I going to send out like 30 invites or am I going to send out like 5 genuine ones, but still wanting to be consistent in that of like, with that call by Kate Schultes, I think she was saying like, you don't want to send out 100 invites and then never be able to keep up with that. Like if you can literally only do 5 a day, do 5 a day. Like that's okay. And don't feel like you're failing and don't compare yourself to others because it really is just a matter of this business takes time. It just takes time. And so, yeah, I think that was a big thing. And as far as, going diamond, fingers crossed again, I'm like, I guess I need to own it, but I don't want to for another 6 weeks. But I think I really had to think from like a business owner perspective of like, okay, and I'm still learning. Like clearly, like from last week, it's like, oh, who the hell knew I had to have 100 PV within the past 5 weeks? I didn't. So, I'm still learning, but I think it was like, okay, how can I be smart in this and what can I control in some way of like, I want to hit diamond because I know that this can be a great foundation for me to like really build on this. And even in hosting this like coach info session, I think that is like, okay, now I can bring on more girls, but then I'll have this foundation of being diamond. And yeah, so I think from that, I was being smart of like, okay, with my boyfriend, I created an account for him and made him a coach. And then with discount coaches, I like put them under him so I can make him emerald real quick. And then thank God I had like an awesome coach like Brittany, who was on my other leg and like just have been trying to invest in that more too. Like, okay, can she hit emerald? Can she hit emerald? And so now that I have those 2 solid foundations, so it's like, okay, here's one that I can control. And then here's one that I'm like, luckily I just have an awesome coach. But now it's like, okay, I have that foundation. And then now how can I build up? So even in my invites and as I'm checking out girls, which I think I shared this script in our Diamond Intern group and I can share it into our team page. But I've been checking girls out with the discount. Like I've been checking them out with the coach membership really without giving them an option. And that sounded so shady to me at first, but literally it's like I'm setting a reminder in my phone to like 5 days before it renews, I'm going to send them an email and say like, hey, if you want to cancel this, then go for it. But I think that way it's like it's so much more simple to can't have them cancel it rather than to halfway through the month switch them to a discount coach membership, and there's just a lot to it. And they don't really know the difference. That it's just like, hey, I just want to let you know so you don't like see these fees and think that it's weird. But like I went ahead and checked you out with the coach membership, because if you decide to stick with Shakeology past the first month, you'll get 25% off as well as other products. And so that has been really helpful. And so with that too, it's like, okay, luckily I've been sending them more invites, so I'm getting more clients. And once I check them out, then like if for some reason, like I miss something with my boyfriend's account, or if Brittany, one of the girls on her legs drops, and it's like, now I have other coaches or discount coaches to be able to hold my rank more. And so yes, it's like my goal right now is to really get active coaches who want to work this business, but I haven't been in a place of that. It's like, okay, it's more so just discount coaches that I'm writing on. But so I think it's like, what can I be smart about and how can I control that? But from that, it's like, okay, but the more I get into this business, the more I actually want to create business builders and have coaches that like link arms with me. But I think that has been a huge thing, was thank goodness, like I just have been able to connect with a lot of women who want to get started. And then from that, I found that way of checking girls out just with the coach discount or the discount coach membership right away. So that's just more like logistic stuff, but that has been huge for me. So I think it's been mindset and just like this competitive mindset too, like, okay, Team Cup, and I'm just going to think in the Team Cup mindset for the rest of these months too. And I think that's kind of it. Does that make sense?
No, I love everything about what you said. And I know that you and I are talking and you're like, I'm not really using the business activity tracker. And I personally am not either. More so, I printed them all off and keep leaving them at work and keep forgetting to bring them home because I don't have a printer here. But that's besides the point. But you're like, I know that you are running your business with that framework. Mm-hmm. So I want you to think of those 4 things that I went over as your framework. And then you are your own business. And that's exactly what Nikki just put out there tonight. She's like, I'm running it this way because this is me and this is my lifestyle. Like, you don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do what Mackenzie does, what Danielle does, what anybody on this team does, because this is your business. And Nikki's training for a marathon right now. And she's not committed to a program, and she's rocking this freaking business. And that just like goes to show, like, if you have all of those outside frameworks in place and you're, hitting those 4 boxes, that the rest is just you and connecting and being your own real self. And I just want to reiterate too. So Nikki got to Diamond, and because I know that people are going to be rewatching this, her right and left leg were stacked with discount coaches. Okay. So then she really had the numbers going for a while now. And then she got her boyfriend's account to Emerald on one side. And then she helped her coach Brittany on the other leg get to Emerald as well. And boom, that's Diamond. It's really not complicated. Once you start stacking your legs with all those discount coaches, like Nikki said, to really have that foundation. And I really love that idea, because when I first started out, I would check people out with the discount without telling them. Well, like I would tell them like after I checked them out, like I wouldn't ask them, but I would never set a reminder in my phone. Like, what an asshole. I would just, check them out and be like, oh my gosh, everybody loves a discount, blah, blah, blah. And then like, I would never tell them about the fee. Like, okay, that's a huge rookie mistake. So I love that your business is at a point right now where you can manage, like setting the reminders in your phone. Honestly, for me right now, I offer it either way and I explain it, and I don't check people out with it every single time. But I think that that's a great method to do, especially like when you're building up your clients and you have the ability to do that, like with your numbers and everything. So really good tool. So if you could either tonight or tomorrow in the team page, kind of share like those scripts and what you say for that, that would be awesome. Totally, yeah. I know that you have to go to work soon, but does anybody have questions for Nikki while we've got her on what she's doing, anything?
And if no one has questions, I do want to piggyback off of that really quick too, because totally it's like I am in a place where luckily I can manage that. But it's like if I was Ashley Molstead, it's like she probably can't do that. Like here's 200 people I just send out that I need to remind. But I think that I was always before just offering it and thinking of myself too. It's like a lot of times I just jump into things, but it's like I probably would be like, that's an extra $16. No, I'm not doing it. And 25% off I don't care. I don't want to buy other products anyway. But but I think right now when my mindset is like, I just want to build this business right now. I want to build this business. Like that's my mindset. Then it's like, this is what it's going to take for me to get there so I can stack those legs. And then once I get to this like solid foundation where I'm like, okay, it's not as rocky anymore, then I can kind of step back. And if I do like get more clients, then it's like, okay, now I'm just offering it again rather than like checking them out and then having, 100 reminders on my phone. But I think it's like, what can I manage right now? What is smart for me to do? And yeah, like it's definitely an extra step for me, but right now it's like, that's what I want to do because I'm so fixated on like building this business and hitting this rank that like, that's what I need to do right now. So knowing that that's not always going to be the case, but knowing that like I was doing that before, I was offering it, but now I'm not because a girl on Run Wild Hustle and Shine, Katrina, she told me about it in like November. And I like hadn't used it. And then I remembered, I was like, oh, I think that could be really smart to do right now. And so I'd asked her like how she was getting so many coaches signed out. And then she had told me that. So that's what I've been using. But knowing that, yeah, that's not going to last forever. So
yeah, I love that because you've got like, how can I build this solid foundation? It's going to take these things and your business is going to go through different phases too all the time where, at one point you might be able to do this, at one point you might not, and this and that. And, I'm in Nikki's boot camp right now too, because like a lot of you guys add me to your stuff and she, I've noticed has taken bits and pieces of different and various boot camps that she's been in and she makes it her own. It doesn't look identical to mine and it shouldn't. Like it really shouldn't. You guys should, put your own flair. And the last thing I want to say that I want to highlight that you said is that your invites, because like you're hungry this month, you're doing a ton of those hard invites, but at the same point, you're making some of them personal because you still want to have that. So I like that you're kind of doing the half and half too when you're inviting, because you want to, build that relationship, and then some you just want to hit them hard with that.
Yeah. And then even with those like hard invites, it's like, okay, but if they were to bite in that, then it's like, oh, like I want to get to know you. And that's always my heart in it too. Like, hey, if you're my client, like I want to be your friend too. So, but yeah, knowing that like, okay, but if I need to like just send some invites out, then that's what I need to do.
In your process, when you invite, do you talk to them about their goals first?
Yes, most of the time. I've kind of taken the like your 4-part message, but honestly, I've noticed for me at least when I'm doing that with girls, it's almost like this long drawn out thing, and sometimes it always doesn't flow as naturally as I thought it would. And so I really just feel it out and like, okay, I'm going to use that if that makes sense in this conversation. But if it doesn't, then I'm just going to kind of piggyback off of what they said or yeah. So, yes and no. I'm like asking about their nutrition, but I'm also mostly just kind of like explaining the groups and stuff too. And
okay. So, okay, perfect. So I think because I feel like a missing piece too could be asking them about their things and seeing like what you provide for them instead of talking about, I have this, I have this, I have this. So
yeah, no, totally. And I think and because that's kind of the frame of my monthly group that I'm running out to is like, hey, because I'm not like doing an exact program right now, like here's my routine. Like, are you already taking classes that you really love? Because I can help you create a routine with these workouts that like can work with the programs or classes that you're already doing, or like is nutrition. I definitely always ask about fitness and nutrition because even if they like are doing something and they don't want to commit to a certain program, it's like, how's your nutrition? And I would say for most girls, typically it's like, oh, it's not awesome, I don't really focus on it. Then I can still use that and say like, we have awesome things with nutrition. And it's totally, and speaking from my experience too, like how it's changed my mindset and stuff like that. So I'm always at least asking those two things. And then I feel like the community just speaks for itself, and really speaking on your stories about that too. Like, okay, I want to share like what's going on in my monthly group, or things like that. So
Sorry, I keep coming up with more questions as you
that's okay.
talk. So the majority of the women in your group, would you say that you've gotten them set up with a Beachbody program, or are they doing more hybrids like you?
Honestly, most girls are doing 21 Day Fix. So I would say most girls are doing a program, but there are definitely a couple that, like one girl's like, I'm taking these classes and I really love them, but this could be really cool. Like I want to build muscle. So I'm like, great. Lift 4 is an awesome program that you can supplement alongside these classes that you're doing. And so there's a few other girls doing hybrid workouts, but honestly, most are doing 21 Day Fix or another program. So.
I have a question for you. When you are like going back, because so you sign everyone else, or like you've been doing the coach sign up, but then you go back and like a couple days before, like you let them know that they're going to get the charge. How many of them end up canceling when you do that?
Well, I actually honestly haven't hit that point yet with them, because most of these girls that I'm just in February, it's like most of these girls that I started signing them out with that got signed out like the first week of February. So it'll be the first week of March that I'm following up and saying, hey, just a reminder. But honestly, I've already gotten a couple emails that a couple girls, like, I think they already found the cancellation form without me. And I think like one or two maybe like already went to cancel it. And honestly, like I'm expecting most of them to cancel it, but I'm also trying to think like, okay, in my monthly group, I just want to sell the crap out of like Shakeology and the benefits of it, the beach bars, and like that I'm implementing them and just speaking more to these products and that they can get the discount with that. So then like once the time comes for them, once the month is up, then they can see like, oh, well, I've seen all these supplements and maybe I'm interested in actually keeping them and wanting to buy these. But that's why I'm like, I just want to stack people and stack clients, because I'm honestly expecting most of them to cancel it. I don't know, but maybe I think I'm expecting them to. So
yeah. Well, I'm thinking like maybe because I remember when I first got signed up, I was like, I'm not going to keep the Shakeology. Like I'm going to cancel it. But then now like I love it. And so like, I'm wondering if maybe if you just sign them up with it and then they realize once they're doing it, like, oh, wow, like the pre-workout is amazing, or like the shakes are really good. Like I for sure want to do it. Since they already have it, then they would be more inclined to just keep it versus like they don't have the discount, so they don't want to go through like the hassle,
Totally. Yeah. And I think then that's up to me as their coach of being like, hey, I'm implementing it into my lifestyle and you have this now and here's how it could benefit you. And so then it's kind of like, oh, I'm owning that as my responsibility to really share the different kinds of products and how that can help them too. So
I almost wonder too, if as you're about to send out that first wave of like messages, like when their month is up, to type it out and like, let's talk through it, because I think it's going to be very crucial with how you word it.
Totally.
And I think like using things like cancel, you want to avoid. I almost feel like approaching it as like, how are you loving everything? Are you loving the Shakeology? Were you thinking about, trying to pre-workout next month, and kind of asking those probing questions to see if they're like, eh, or like gung-ho, like I freaking love it. And then you're just like, awesome, let's keep you on the same plan that you are. These are the benefits. This is how much you're going to save. And don't even say like, well, should we cancel? And I think it's going to be this like balance of wording.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's a really great point. That's true. Because if you do say like, hey, do you just want to cancel this? Then it's like, well, yeah, I'm saving money, but it's really just like, hey, how can I like really glorify these products and like,
probe,
ask money in the long run.
See how they're loving it. See if they want to try anything else.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's great.
Cool. Anybody else? Good question, Shay.
Yes, great.
Teacher's pet. All these teachers on the call. All right. Okay, I'll take a pick. Do you guys like picks or booms? What do you guys like? Let's stop recording.